This week, we will be focusing on educational programs and the basics on how to create one. This will help you with developing your own programs and the basic of what each program needs as you continue through the rest of the semester. Up to this point, we have been discussing what is needed to make a program work, such as knowing what your museum stands for, what your audience wants, and how to educate the masses. Now, we dive more into the nitty gritty of the education world by actually establishing how to create a program. You first have to decide what type of program you want to create to know what direction you want to go in. Summer camps, workshops, and special events can be more work and specially focused, but they do not have to follow any major guidelines or standards set by any sort of higher power. School programs, outreaches, and training means that you need to focus on standards that may be a bit more formal but are also easier to create. The type of program that I want to focus on for this lecture is the program for a school group or adult group. The concept of a program generally falls into something that directly connects your audience to the exhibits in a more formal setting. Since museum education is considered informal, people tend to think that educators don't have to focus on classroom management, curriculum writing, lesson planning, and evaluation. The truth is that educators do all of that each time they offer a program to preschoolers all the way up to senior citizens. Many of the guidelines in the next few slides also work for events and workshops, so take all of these into consideration as you design any type of program. The first step you need to do in creating your program is that you must first choose your topic wisely, because it will be something that will have to meet the museum's vision, interest your visitors, keep your management happy, and be a viable topic to research and put together. Don't choose a topic that's too big for you. It is okay to start small and add on later. Starting small allows you to organize your thoughts, figure out your costs, and how long it will take from the beginning. Then you can add on as you get the basics of your program set in stone. Remember to communicate. Everyone in your museum can give some insight, as well as teachers or group leaders with whom you wish to create the program for. Collaborating with your staff allows you to focus on what is the best part of your program according to what they believe. As I stated in the audience's lecture, educators must rely on teachers outside of the museum to be their main collaborators, as they know what is best for their students and for what they want to see in your programs. The next thing you need to do in the basics of creating your program is to put together your program objectives. Remember, you have to justify this to your director and then to the audiences. Make sure that you include your standards and your alignments you are trying to meet, and make sure that the museum's purpose and all of this is well known. You need to consider your audiences and whether you have these standards to follow, and you need to understand why you yourself are creating the topic you are choosing to do. This helps you figure out later on what the content of your program should actually be. Once you have your basics down, such as your objectives and planning and costs, you need to start considering the nitty gritty of the program. You need to consider writing a dialogue and include open ended questioning for your audiences. Consider what happens if your audience strays away from the point, and you need to decide how much time is spent on talking and then split it up. You need to get your objects out right off the bat. Every program needs interactive and hands on experiences, and this always needs to be included. Many times, people can include 1 to 2 artifacts or pieces of artwork to be able to get the minds going of the students, and then ask questions based off those objects that relate to the theme of your program. Once you have an actual dialogue of your program written down, you actually need to start considering if your program can be evaluated or not. Whether it's by your supervisor or a teacher, evaluations are very important. We will spend more time on evaluation later this semester, but just be aware that your program will need data to prove that people are learning something and that it's actually going in the proper direction. Once you feel confident with your program, it's time to put it all together. You can make a formal write up for yourself, set up the entire program, and go through it with your peers and ask for suggestions. You can add visuals as needed, run through it a few times, consider humor and the community or current events that are happening around you to connect it to, and then you can offer the program as a test group. Many schools would love for you to call them and offer your program for their students as an outreach. You can create a special evaluations for teachers or group leaders to complete and never take their criticisms too hard, as they are a wonderful resource when you're first starting out in a program. For more information, check out the folder for samples of programs and guidelines that you can follow, including a basic worksheet that you can fill out when you're first designing a program. Also, don't be afraid to ask other museum educators for assistance. Many museum educators are more than willing to help you in designing a program and may even allow you to sit there and watch a few of theirs to get a general idea on how something needs to be created.